Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. 皆様こんばんは。That was quite an introduction. I hope I live up to your expectation. It's a real pleasure to be invited to give, I think it was a keynote speech or the keynote speech, but with so many other special speakers, I'm not sure I'm the only one. But anyway, it feels like that requires something quite big, like a shared vision, maybe, for all of us, for the change that we want to see. And I propose that that change might be that everyone, everywhere, should be free to love who they love and to express themselves. It sounds quite simple, but sadly, it's easier said than done. And many around the world still do not enjoy that fundamental right. But I think together we can make real progress. The United Kingdom is committed to championing LGBT+ rights around the world and supporting those who defend those rights, like all of you. We do so not just because it's the right thing to do, but also because the strongest, safest, and most prosperous societies are those in which everyone can live freely without fear of violence or discrimination. And I'm proud to represent the British government, which is working for a world free of discrimination. And judging by the turnout today, we're clearly not alone in that effort. 2022 marks the 50th anniversary since the first official Pride Parade in London. In 1972, up to 1,000 people marched through the centre of the capital. This year, more than 1 million gathered. People dressed in what they wanted to wear. People could express who they are. And it was the first large-scale parade since the outbreak of a pandemic. This Pride Parade was not only a celebration of the UK's diversity, it was also a moment for British people to come together and remember the difficult times we've all been through. But whilst we've made great strides in the United Kingdom in the last 50 years, progress wasn't always a straight line. While the 1970s saw LGBT+ activism gathering momentum, prejudice remained strong in our society. Politics wasn't always pro-LGBT+ either, and in 1988, the UK government introduced the notorious Section 28, which prohibited the promotion of homosexuality in places like schools. The Foreign Office, where I work and have worked since 1986, did not allow openly gay people to work as diplomats until 1991. The late 1990s saw a wave of changes influenced by a new government, by court decisions, and most importantly, the power of the people. 1997 was a pivotal year as the government legally recognised same-sex relationships for the first time, gathering or paving the way for further positive change as the new millennium dawned. In 2000, the age of consent for both heterosexual and same-sex couples was equalised to 16. 2002 saw same-sex couples allowed to adopt children, and civil partnerships were introduced in 2004. 2010, so not very long ago, was another pivotal year, the introduction of the Equality Act. This legislation not only prohibits any discrimination against minority groups, including LGBT+ people, but it also promotes the understanding of challenges facing minority people in the UK. So this now creates a safe space for LGBT+ people to live without fear of discrimination, both direct and indirect. I'd also like to highlight the 2014 legal recognition of same-sex marriage in the UK. So I guess this was the culmination of our journey. This means a lot to me. I've had different personal experience. First, in the British Embassy in 2015, when I was working here as the Deputy Ambassador, it meant that I was able to marry a couple, two colleagues, men, Tim and Ryan, who had been a couple for some time, and we were able to hold their marriage ceremony in the British Embassy, and I had the privilege of presiding over that ceremony and announcing that they were married and were husband and husband. It was a really joyful occasion. And we have many other colleagues in our embassy who are gay, whether couples or with partners that have come to Japan with them. The other reason is that for me and my family, there's an important connection. My older daughter, Natalie, who was actually born in Japan in 1992, so at a time when we'd only just got rid of that legal ban on openly gay people in my organization. So she was born in 1992. This year, she married her partner, Catherine, now her wife, in May in the United Kingdom. And they are actually fellow, I suppose they're fellow employees of the same organisation, in that they are both sportswomen. They play cricket for England, so they are national team players for the England women's cricket team. And so whilst the wedding was an incredibly joyful occasion where we all felt that this was one time, even in the UK, this was a time when they were surrounded just by the family and friends who love them and support them, and where they feel comfortable, and that they could be natural and show their love for each other. It was a really, really special day. But of course, they're also quite famous. So it wasn't just a private affair. Their fans and many members of the public in the United Kingdom also knew immediately and now talk about them as a married couple playing in the same cricket team. So hearing Teruhara Sensei talk about some of those legal views, the benefit of public recognition, the personal dignity, and the source of self-affirmation and happiness that marriage brings, really touched me. So I think it's a fight that has to be won in Japan, and I will certainly personally continue to support it. And just finally to say that my embassy, my team in Japan, Sophie who's here with me and others, we are committed to continuing to work closely with Japanese partners and others in Japan to promote LGBT+ rights. We're encouraged by a shift in public opinion for what's happened over the last decade or so. The fact that now 80% in Japan understand what LGBT stands for, 65% now support same-sex marriage to be legalized. But that's not been yet reflected in concrete change. And we want to work more closely with Japan to guarantee the fundamental rights of all groups in society, including bringing forward the day when nationwide LGBT+ protections exist. So we look forward to all of your expertise, help and advocacy, and to working together to ensure equality for all. Thank you very much.